Courage. The definition of courage in the dictionary is the quality of mind or spirit that enables a person to face difficulty, danger, pain, etc. I believe courage is the ability to face fear, pain, or a difficult obstacle. For an act to be courageous, it must comply with the following criteria. First, a courageous act must involve risk. Someone who stops a mugger from stealing a woman's purse is courageous because he is putting himself at risk of also getting mugged. John sees money fall out of a man's pocket, and John picks it up and gives it back to the man. This situation does not involve risk, so it wouldn't be considered an act of courage. A man sees a woman fall in a river. After he notices that she cannot swim, he jumps in to save her from drowning. He didn't even think twice about jumping in to save her. For an act to be courageous, it must involve a split-second decision. The man was courageous because he made a split-second decision to jump in the river to save the woman that couldn't swim. A situation that does not involve a split-second decision would be if you ask yourself whether to ask a girl out today or tomorrow. Ever been outside your comfort zone? For an act to be courageous, you must be out of your comfort zone. Asking someone out on a date, asking for a promotion at work are examples of being outside your comfort zone. A shark biologist is diving in the ocean when all of a sudden a shark swims close by. Most people would go insane if that happened to them while diving. The shark biologist didn't mind it because he is used to being swimming around sharks. Standing up for what you believe in is an act of courage. Rosa Parks was a very courageous person because she strongly believed in equal rights. When she refused to get up from her seat, it took a lot of courage because she knew trouble would come. Your friends start to bully a kid and you do nothing but watch. You would still be considered a bully because you didn't do anything to stop it. You would not be courageous because you didn't stand up for what you. Your fear is an act of courage. A man's grandmother is about to die. She's at a local hospital. There's one problem. The man has a phobia of hospitals. His courage built up and he faced his fear and went to go see his grandmother for the last time. He was courageous because he faced his fear and went to the hospital. What if the man didn't go to the hospital because of his phobia? Then he would have not been courageous because he didn't face his fear. Finally, overcoming hardship is courageous because mental courage is a man finding out he has a brain tumor and still cherishing and living life to the fullest. Mental courage is taking care of your brother and sister following the death of their parents. Say you're failing a class and you drop it because it was hard. You would not be considered courageous because you didn't overcome the hardship. Thus, acts of courage must require risk-taking, making split-second decisions, getting out of your comfort zone, standing up for what you believe in, facing your fears, and overcoming hardship. There is mental courage and physical courage. Mental courage would be facing your fears, and physical courage would be jumping in a river. Courage is in all of us. It just takes the right situation for a courageous act to come out of us. Story: Man in the Water. An unknown man saved 5 people from a plane crash that happened in the freezing cold water. Whenever the rescue team lowered a lifeline or flotation to him, he would pass it on to the others. When it was his turn to be rescued, it was too late and he went under the water. Losing his life for the other people was a very courageous act. The man risked his life to save the other survivors. He was in a life-threatening situation. Every time he had a chance to live, he gave it another. The man must have made a split-second decision every time the lifeline came to him whether to live or die. When he gave the lifeline to someone else, he was losing the chance to live every time. Rescuing people in the freezing water from an airplane crash was definitely out of his comfort zone. He was just an ordinary person on a plane that happened to crash in the water. He would have never known such a capacity in himself. The man stood up for what he believed in. He believed that his faith was to save others. No matter how gradual the effect of the cold and the judgment, he had no other choice. Everyone fears death, but the man in the water faces fear of death. He watched everything in the world move away from him and deliberately let it happen. Finally, the man overcame hardship. Roger Rosenblatt mentions that at some moment in the water he must have realized that he would not live if he continued to hand over the rope and rings to others. The man in the water actions met all the criteria to be courageous.